Every house has a story, really, but some houses, well, some addresses, they're like time capsules, holding generations of ambition, resilience, and just plain heart.
Yeah.
Today, we're unlocking one of those, 7 Athens Street in Waverly, New York. It might look, I don't know, unassuming on the surface, but trust me, we're about to peel back layers of history that are anything but ordinary.
Oh, absolutely. And what a journey it promises to be. Our deep dive today isn't just a casual glance. It's built from a really rich stack of sources. We've got historical excerpts, these detailed old maps, census data, fascinating newspaper clippings, and maybe most valuable of all, these deeply personal recollections.
Okay.
So our mission is clear. We're going to explore the physical transformations of 7 Athens Street and, more importantly, understand the generations of lives that shaped it to what its current owners lovingly call their blissful haven.
So let's unpack this property's surprising origins.
The story of 7 Athens Street really kicks off with a gentleman named Samuel Wickham Slaughter. Now, he already lived at 208 Chemung Street, which was, a truly significant home in its own right. Picture this. It was given an Eastlake design.
Oh, that really intricate Victorian style.
Exactly, that wonderfully decorative style, lots of carved wood details. It was done by the builder Azariah J. Veneta in 1873. And get this, it was a wedding gift from Samuel's father.
A whole house design as a wedding gift. Nice.
Right, lavish. But Samuel, it seems, had even bigger plans for his immediate surroundings.
So he had this magnificent home. What was next? What was his vision?
Well, in 1877, Samuel acquired an octagon house located just west of his Chemung Street place, along with the land next to it. And this adjacent land, crucially, included the very lot that would become 7 Athens Street. But here's where it gets really interesting. Just 2 years later, 1879, Samuel Slaughter makes this extraordinary decision.
Okay.
He decided to physically move that entire octagon house, distinctive cupola and all, to the 7 Athens Street lot.
Wait, he moved a whole house back then. That's incredible. Why? What was the point of doing that?
You can just imagine it. 1879, teams of horses, probably some specialized rollers, maybe half the town watching.
And gasping and cheering, Brian.
Absolutely. As this, impressive octagon house is slowly, carefully rolled down the street. It wasn't just an engineering feat. It was a spectacle, a real statement by Slaughter about his estate. And the purpose, to create this huge, clear space, basically a park adjoining his magnificent residence on Chemung Street, his own private garden, essentially.
Wow. Moved a house for a garden.
Yeah. And the octagon house, once it was moved, it served a practical purpose, too. It became a 2-family rental property, income for the estate.
That paints such a vivid picture. So 7 Athens Street starts its life with a relocated house sitting on it as a rental. It really sounds like this plot of land has always been incredibly dynamic, constantly being reshaped.
Exactly. That octagon house, quite the landmark, I imagine, with its cupola, stayed as a rental for the Slaughter family for decades. Steady income. But then, around 1933, the story takes a bit of a mysterious turn. Newspaper records, maps, they just stopped showing it after August of that year.
Really? It just vanishes?
Pretty much. We know the Evans family, they'd rented it for a long time. They even celebrated their 55th wedding anniversary there in 1933. Then they moved out. So it really makes you wonder, what actually happened to that unique octagon home?
A vanished house. That's quite a puzzle for this early chapter.
It is. All we know for sure is that by 1942, according to a neighbor named Tom, 7 Athens Street was just an empty lot with a large hole in the ground.
A hole in the ground.
Intriguing.
Right. It's this gap in the record, this silent spot where a building used to be. But this blank slate wouldn't stay empty for long. In 1945, the whole Slaughternap estate, including this lot, started a new, equally transformative chapter, which leads us to its next really remarkable owner.
Okay, so a vacant lot with a mysterious past, ready for its next act. And that started with the sale of the entire estate.
Precisely. Samuel's daughter, Mrs. Mary Gertrude Slaughternap, she sold the whole estate to a prominent local figure, a woman named Mary I. Fralick. Now, Mrs. Fralick was a real force in local real estate, very entrepreneurial, known for owning Marilorn Cabins, a local lodging business, with her first husband. She definitely saw the potential in these big old Victorian structures.
So she was an investor, basically.
Absolutely, and she quickly started transforming things. The main house at 208 Chemung, she converted it into 6 apartments, which unfortunately meant losing the original third-floor ballroom.
Oh, that's a shame. It is, but practical.
Right.
She also turned the old carriage house at 9 Athens Street into 2 apartments. It was a big shift, really reflecting that post-war practicality, the changing housing needs in Waverly.
Right, adapting these older, grander buildings for a new era. And then in 1950, our specific lot, 7 Athens Street, got its next owner.
Yes, 1950. Mary Freilich sells the vacant lot at 7 Athens Street to a new owner, Mary Alamo. And this sets the stage for the family whose story becomes so deeply, deeply tied to this particular address.
The Alamo family. Okay, their story sounds central to this place. This initial purchase and building the home, especially for someone like Mary Alamo, it sounds like real determination. What was her background, her journey?
It truly does speak volumes. Mary Constantine Alamo bought that vacant lot in April 1950. And her daughter, Elizabeth, everyone knew her as Tina, she shared some invaluable memories about this time. Tina remembered very clearly that she and her mother walked all around Waverly for a building lot. They specifically went to Mary Freilich to buy this spot, even though it wasn't actually listed for sale.
They sought it out.
They did. Tina said it was perfect for Mary. See, Mary didn't have a car. She walked everywhere. So she needed to be close to the Catholic Church, close to the busy downtown on Broad Street. It was a strategic choice, but also deeply personal.
That detail, walking all over town to find the perfect spot, it really highlights that sense of purpose. And it was Tina, Mary's daughter, who was involved in the house design too, right?
Yes, remarkably so. Tina actually designed the home that's there now, built by Louis Fenner from Binghamton, New York, and finished in October 1950. And here's a really insightful detail Tina shared. They consciously chose to set the house back from the sidewalk. And they copied the roof design from the converted carriage house next door at 9 Athens Street.
Oh, interesting.
Well, Tina said, and I love this quote, "This smaller house wouldn't stick out as much. I wanted it to blend in." It shows this real thoughtful desire for, like, harmony with the existing architecture, not just plopping down a new build. She also mentioned it was basically 2 building lots, which highlights how generous the property size was, a real asset for a family.
That desire to blend in, finding just the right spot, it really connects back to Mary Alamo's immigrant story. She came over through an arranged marriage, didn't she?
Yes, that's right. Her husband, Dominic Alamo, he immigrated from Italy way back in 1894. Mary followed him in 1903. Their journey was, pretty typical for that early 20th century immigrant experience, seeking new opportunities, building a family, navigating all the challenges of a new country. And the early years for the Alamo family, well, the records show they weren't without significant struggles. It reflects both the broader immigrant experience and just the really tough era they lived in.
Tough era feels like an understatement when you look at some of the records. Sounds like they faced some extraordinary hardships.
They certainly did. I mean, take this record from 1914. Mary Alamo was arrested and fined $5 for stealing coal from a Lehigh Valley Railroad car.
$5?
Yeah.
Wow.
And what that really shows, I think, is the sheer grit and sometimes the impossible choices families like the Alamos faced back then. It wasn't just about breaking a rule. It was about survival, trying to keep a family warm when times were incredibly tough economically.
That paints a really stark picture of the pressures and the challenges, it seems, only got worse during Prohibition.
Oh, absolutely. Prohibition, that national ban on alcohol from 1920 to 33, it created huge pressure, this whole complex underground economy. It often pushed families, maybe desperate families, into illicit activities just to make ends meet. And the consequences, if you got caught, especially for marginalized groups like immigrants, could be devastating. We see this with the Alamos. In 1922, Dominic's brother, Nicola Alamo, law enforcement visited him, found liquor, and he faced charges himself.
So the family was really navigating a difficult, maybe even dangerous landscape, and Mary herself faced a pretty serious charge later on.
She did. In 1924, Mary Alamo was charged with selling alleged liquor to a 13-year-old boy. She pleaded guilty, got a $250 fine, which was a lot of money then, and a suspended 1-year jail sentence. She had to report regularly to the district attorney. And the court records, they give this sobering snapshot. She was 44, born in Italy, naturalized, temperate, but crucially could neither read nor write. And she was the mother of 11 children.
11 children.
11 children. It's just this powerful, almost heartbreaking reminder of the economic hardship, the lengths some families went to just to survive during that chaotic Prohibition era. It wasn't necessarily about, moral failings. Often it was just desperation, trying to provide for a large family with very limited options.
It really paints a picture of immense social pressure, but also incredible resilience.
Yeah.
And within this large Alamo family, one person really stands out, Elizabeth, or Tina. Her story, rooted right there at 7 Athens Street, seems like a testament to real personal achievement and community impact.
Oh, Elizabeth Tina Alamo's life is truly remarkable. especially when you consider her family's early struggles. She graduated from Waverly High School, then pursued this incredibly impressive career in nursing, earned a Bachelor of Science in Nursing Education from Catholic University. Her career path was just extensive. She was on the nursing staff at Tioga General Hospital, Robert Packer Hospital, the U.S. Public Health Service in New York City. She rose to become a head nurse in Staten Island, an instructor at St. James Mercy Hospital. She taught at Alfred University, served as a school nurse at Nazareth College.
Wow, she really climbed the ladder.
Absolutely. And she ultimately retired as the Educational Director of Nursing Services at the Veterans Administration Medical Center in Bath, New York, after 25 years there.
That's an amazing career, really breaking barriers for her time, I imagine. But her impact wasn't just local or even national. She had a global perspective, too.
Yeah, we connect this to the bigger picture. Tina's global engagement is also notable, really forward-thinking for her time. In 1957, she traveled to Europe, attended an international nurses conference in Rome, even had an audience with the Pope, visited relatives there. But what's maybe even more striking, she was part of a team of nurses in a work-study program in health clinics in Russia.
We're in Russia in 1957, during the Cold War.
Exactly. This wasn't just a trip. It showed an incredible commitment to global health, to cross-cultural learning, and a deep dedication to her profession that went way beyond what you might expect.
Tina's journey from Waverly High to being this globally engaged nursing director is such a powerful insight. It really shows how individual determination, rooted in community values, can transform not just a life, but maybe impact a whole profession. She wasn't just part of history, she was making history in her own quiet, profound way. And her commitment back to her community, to the future, that shines through too, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Her legacy goes way beyond her career. In 2008, Tina established the Elizabeth Alamo Nursing Scholarship Fund for graduating seniors at Waverly High, specifically to help ensure a steady supply of nurses. That's direct action, showing her foresight, her dedication to her profession, and her hometown. She was honored as Woman of the Year by the Valley Beta Sigma Phi, a local organization, recognized by the American Red Cross for over 50 years of service.
50 years. Incredible.
Right. And her longevity was celebrated, too. Her 100th birthday in 2015, she received a New York State Assembly citation, a proclamation from the mayor of Waverly. She truly lived an exemplary life. Passed away at 101 in 2016. And what's really fascinating here, connecting it all back, is her deep personal link to the history of the whole estate. She even knew Charlotte Knapp, Samuel Slaughter's daughter, from high school. They were just a year apart. Tina was like this living bridge to the past, directly connecting these different eras of the property's story.
So the house at 7 Athens Street really became this multi-generational hub for the Alamos, a place where they built their lives.
It absolutely did. Mary Alamo, she lived in the bungalow she'd bought and helped design until she passed away in 1970. She left the home to two daughters, Lena and Elizabeth. Lena had also lived there with her mother. She passed away just a few years later in 1973 and left her share to Tina. Later on, their brother, John Alamo, also came to live at 7 Athens Street with Tina. He lived there until he died in 1994. So the home was in the Alamo family for a remarkable 67 years. It witnessed so much of their collective journey, the joys, the challenges. It really became a cornerstone of their lives.
And that brings us, amazingly, to the present day, and what sounds like an incredible, almost poetic, full-circle moment for 7 Athens Street.
It really is something. After Tina passed in 2016, her sister Isabel, known as Susie O'Hara, and Susie's son John O'Hara inherited the property. Then on January 17, 2017, Amy and Brad Zare purchased 7 Athens Street. And this transaction, it had huge historical significance. After 67 years with the Alamo family, this purchase reunited 7 Athens Street with the original Samuel Wickham Slaughter and Charlotte Wells Slaughter estate, meaning 208 Chemung Street and 9 Athens Street. It brought the entire original property back together under single ownership, closing this chapter of separation that lasted nearly a century.
That's more than just buying a house. That's like an act of historical stewardship.
Yeah.
What are the Zares' plans for this reunified estate?
The Zares have truly embraced the whole legacy. They've named the entire property the Zare Estate. They're in the middle of this meticulous process of restoring the grand house at 208 Chemung Street, and they're thoughtfully revitalizing 7 Athens Street so it blends seamlessly with the historic Victorian property next door. They've affectionately named the bungalow Blissful Haven, which is just a beautiful nod to the peace and the home it's provided for decades. It's really a testament to this enduring spirit of preservation, a deep connection to the past. They're creating this cohesive, vibrant historical site that really honors every single chapter of its story.
Wow. From Samuel Slaughter's grand vision for a private park, through the resilience and the triumphs of the Alamo family to its current reunification. 7 Athens Street has seen so much. This deep dive really shows us how a single address can hold just countless stories, reflecting ambition, ingenuity, pure grit, and these deep family values.
It really does. And this whole deep dive reminds us that history isn't just about, grand events or famous names. It's woven right into the fabric of our everyday lives, the places we live. It kind of begs the question, doesn't it? What other hidden stories, what interwoven histories exist right there in your own community just waiting to be uncovered? The story of 7 Athens Street shows us that even the places that look unassuming can hold this rich, profound tapestry of human experience. If we just, take the time to look a little deeper.
Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Victorian Estate. Thank you.